floor and make the case for the confirmation of Joe Bailash to our Senate colleagues after we found out there was a secret hold by Senator Cantwell. One of the things that I said was, when you look at this guy's background, when you look at what he's done for the state of Alaska, when you look at the fact that he was a DNR commissioner, managing one of the largest portfolios of land, water, minerals, oil, gas in the world, there is literally no one more qualified for this job in the country than Joe Bailash. So I want to thank Joe, I want to thank his family, because we all know what a sacrifice it is. But he's going to do a great job for America. He's going to be doing a particularly great job for Alaska as he works to be the point man to implement, whether it's the new ANWR legislation, whether it's issues like the King Cove Road. So, Mr. Secretary, again, to you and the President, thank you for taking Joe up, but I know he's not going to disappoint. Literally, I think, the most qualified guy in America for this job. So how about another round of applause for Joe?
We waited 35 years and spent over $50 million. I guess we can get it done. All right, with that, Della, if you would like to say a few words.
On behalf of the community of King Cove and the many people that have died and have suffered, we are so grateful, so beyond grateful to all of those that have supported us. Secretary Zinke, the administration, we thank you very much. This has been a long battle. Our congressional delegation, Senator Murkowski, Congressman Young, Senator Sullivan, our governor, Walker, Lieutenant Governor. I don't know if there's words that I can say how much we appreciate it, and to be standing here, to finally having this to move forward. The people in the community of King Cove are so thankful and so proud and so grateful. And from my bottom of my heart, for my daughter, we thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Governor Walker.
This is not my first time in this office, but by far, this is the most enjoyable time in this office. This is when I gave my State of the State last week, nothing I said got a louder round of applause than this issue. They just erupted with statewide with support for what's happening today. When I went to King Cove, it's important for me to sit down and listen. And it wasn't just the words that were said to me, it was the way it was said. There was the passion, the emotion. I have, and certainly our congressional delegation has been working on this for a long time as well. But just to feel the passion in that room about this issue from a life safety standpoint, the pictures, the stories, it is so exciting for me to be the governor at this moment when the right thing is done. It's been a long time. People matter. People are important. People are critical, and I cannot thank you enough, Mr. Secretary, for this day, for the never give up attitude of King Cove. You never ever gave up. Thank you. Thank you for not. Because in Alaska, this is more than a 12-mile road. This is a sign of the changing opportunity for our state to see that people do matter, and you did that. You never gave up. You never gave up. And so I thank you for all that you've done, Mr. Secretary. This is this is the moment for me. It really is. I have had some unpleasant discussions in this room in the past, and I'm glad we're at this moment. I never thought we were going to be here. I really never did, but thank you. Thank you so much.
It feels like family.
It is.
It is. It is.
And I want to speak a little bit about family, because for the many Alaskans in the room, you know that my father was very, very involved over the decades in trying to help advance a solution for King Cove. When I was appointed to this position back in 2002, I remember the day, I remember the place. I had a conversation, not my father, but with my mother. She said, Lisa, you're going to get a lot of requests from a lot of people about their priorities. And she says, I just want you to remember one thing from me. Don't you ever forget the people of King Cove. You made an impression on somebody who was kind of standing on the sidelines, and it was about the people. And over the years, as the discussion has gone back and forth about what the exchange should look like and taking care of the birds, so often it feels like we have forgotten the people. Now, I didn't forget what Mom said. You always pay attention to what your mother says. But I was with you. I was with Secretary Jewell, and she was in the gymnasium there in King Cove. And we'd taken her out because we truly felt that if she listened to people, if she looked in the eyes of those kids, she would understand it. And she looked in the eyes of those kids, and she said, somebody has to protect the birds and the animals. And that kind of an impression doesn't ever leave you. It doesn't ever leave you. She actually told me, Mr. Secretary, she actually told me that I needed to get over it. I wrote that down on a notepad. It's still on the front page of my notepad. Today, I can finally rip that page out of my notepad. You get over it by doing it right.
She was correct. You are over it.
And thank you to you, thank you to the President, thank you to the good people of King Cove who do have a level of persistence, because again, it's the right thing for the right reasons. So, wonderful day.
And our junior senator, Semper Fi.
All right. I like how the Secretary is saying, our senator. You know, he is an adopted son here of Alaska. Well, listen, I'll just echo a few of the comments here. I think what the governor mentioned is that how this issue is become an Alaskan issue, and I think it's a great testament to our state. That every member of the legislature, when I was Commissioner of DNR, we worked on the, you know, one of the many proposals of the land swap. But it was just how the whole state views this as something important to them, even though they might live 500 miles, 1,000 miles away from King Cove, and how that, in many ways, this has been a hugely difficult issue, but for our state, it's been a uniting issue. And it's great to finally have a moment of victory. I also want to thank, of course, the congressional delegation, Congressman Young and Senator Murkowski, have been working on this for decades, literally. I do want to thank, as everybody has, the Secretary and the President. You know, Senator Murkowski and I had over an hour-long meeting with the President last spring. The Secretary was in there. And we had maps and everything going through all the Alaska issues. And we talked a lot about this issue. And you can see he was very focused on it. As a matter of fact, he looked at Secretary Zinke and said, when can we get this done? And then, well, we're working on it, sir. And then he looked at the Secretary and said, 2 weeks? We'll try, sir, if you remember.
I do.
And then Julie and I were with Senator Murkowski and Vern at the, there was a White House holiday Christmas celebration. And when we went to chat with the President and his wife, the one issue he raised with us, and to Julie, talked about ANWR, but he said, we got to get that road done too. We got to get the road done. President of the United States. That's powerful. But I would finally, like everybody else here, say the most important people in this room, the people who really deserve the credit and the attention today, are the wonderful Alaskans from King Cove. Because they have worked it so hard. And I have some pride too, because in addition to this big accomplishment, we also have a Rhodes Scholar from King Cove. How about that? That's pretty awesome. So a great day for Alaska. Thank you.
And my infamous chairman, there's only one Don Young.
Thank God for that.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
The Dean.
Everything's been said, but I'd like to, Della, thank you because you've been down there. All my King Cove friends. The only thing I'm worried about, Steve Silver won't have any reason to bring you down anymore. Steve, just keep that in mind as time goes by. And by the way, thank Mr. Balash, Secretary, Lieutenant Governor. So everybody in this room, this is a great day. I've been working on this issue for 30 years. ANWR was 37 years. We had the first hearing when we used to work together with Nikki Jo Rayall. Allowed us to have a hearing, and a lot of you came down that time and talked about this road. Everybody knows the importance of it. But again, Mr. Secretary, thank you. We had a secretary who didn't believe that people were important, that geese were more important. In fact, I wanted to catch a goose today and bring it in here. I had a hard time with so many of them, none would stand still. But anyway, this is a great day, and I just want to appreciate everybody, the importance of the Coast Guard, the borough mayors, Mr. Mack and the rest of you. Keep in mind, we're all in this together, we're all Alaskans. We're not only going to save people, you will have connection to a big airport that every other community in the lower 48 has today. And after 30 some odd years, we will finally have that transportation. Again, Mr. Secretary, Senators, thank you very much, Governor. To me, it's a joint effort, it's worked out well, and God bless Alaska, God bless King Cove, and all his people. Thank you very much.
Admiral Michael, the Vice Commandant of the United States Coast Guard.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. First of all, Admiral Zinke, the Commandant of the Coast Guard, wishes he could be with you here today. He's worked with each of you on this issue, and it's an issue of great importance to the United States Coast Guard. So in the world of search and rescue, it's all about having options, and particularly in such a remote and weather-challenged place as Alaska, to be able to get citizens out when they are either injured or sick and get them the medical care. And this road, sir, I'd like to echo what you said, is beyond just a 12-mile road. It is a lifeline for this community. And in certain weather conditions, it may be the only way that we can actually get people out. So I just want to say thanks to each and every one of you who has worked on this issue for so many years. It's a great day for Alaska. It's a great day for the United States Coast Guard. Congratulations and thanks. Yes, sir.
So let's sign this.
Feels good.
But a few remarks is that on behalf of the President, who made this a priority, because the President wants to make sure the people's voice is heard. Over and over again, whether it's in Montana or Alaska or Florida, a significant issue was that the local voice wasn't heard. That our government works for the people and not the other way around. So in the case of King Cove, little village, you have to be from Alaska to kind of know where it is, except our president now knows where it is. But it's more than just a road. It is an idea and a value that people really do matter. And as Secretary, I represent Native Alaskans, and I'm your champion, as well as I represent our wildlife and our treasures. In this case, there is no harm by a 12-mile road. And I spent a lot of time in Alaska with the Coast Guard as a Navy SEAL and the Aleutian chain. Tough weather, but also we have to look at security and safety. And it makes a difference whether you have a fixed wing or a rotary wing. And it makes a difference for a child or a mother that needs to get to a hospital. And it's the right thing to do. So as the Secretary of Interior, the 52nd Secretary of Interior, and evidently an adopted member of
Yeah.
it's my pleasure to sign this. A small note, we are under government shutdown. So while this is official, we cannot implement it until the Senate votes in a positive direction.
Working on it.
Never a problem. Never a problem with these two. So let me. Whereas King Cove, KCC owns the surface estate of lands physically located within the external boundaries of the National Wildlife Refuge, whereas the United States owns the surface and subsurface estate to lands outlined in green on the attached map. Whereas under the terms and procedures set forth in the agreement, the United States will convey to the King Cove Corporation the surface and subsurface estate up to 500 acres from within the outlined area. Whereas King Cove, Alaska is an isolated native village recognized as a village under the ANCSA and located at the end of the Alaska Peninsula. Whereas there are 2 tribes recognized by the United States in King Cove. Whereas there's approximately 12-mile gap between the road leading out of King Cove and the road leading to Cold Bay Airport. And whereas the residents of King Cove cannot regularly reach the Cold Bay Airport because of inclement weather prevents small aircraft from flying between King Cove and Cold Bay. And this is a safety issue. During the government shutdown, I am authorized to address safety and human life. Therefore, I take great pleasure in signing this.
I've got goosebumps.
Comment. I think it's going to take me a little bit of time for this to actually sink in. After spending over half of my life battling it in the community of King Cove, battling for this, there's no words that I can express. I think how thankful we are. So thankful to actually, I still can't believe I'm here doing this. And for everyone, everybody in the organizations that have stood behind us all these years and helped us, we are beyond thankful, and from the bottom of our hearts, God bless you all. Thank you.
Now we're heading to Senator Murkowski's office shortly for some press calls and stuff. Obviously, you're all invited.